Join us for the annual Christmas parade Sunday, November 25th at 5 p.m. in Hamilton. Bring the whole family to get into the Christmas spirit. There will be free goodies for the kids and great entertainment for all. Experience new dazzling lights and floats as Santa makes his way along the parade route. Kick off the holiday season Sunday, November 25th at 5 p.m. with the Marketplace 2018 Christmas Parade.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Friday, November the 16th, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Opposition leader Craig Cannonier gave one of the longest throne speech replies in recent times today, and he calls for an education authority. Mike Sharp has the details.
The opposition leader said we need to pay attention to the road signs, and the signs say things are not that well.
If I were to sum it up, I would say this, that unless we, as an island, figure out how to get direct investment back into this country, into the infrastructure of this company, into businesses into this company, the economy is going to continue to falter. We will not be able to give Bermuda the benefits that they should be getting, like increased maternity and the likes, because businesses will continue. And I'm talking about Bermuda businesses, not the IB business, but Bermuda businesses will continue to lag under the pressure that they are under right now of increased taxes. Any more increased tax on Bermuda business will continue to see Bermudians falling away and not having jobs. And so we've got to figure out how to get investment back into this country. That and foremost.
What about health care? I'll touch on a few topics and let you...
Sure. They're all big topics. I mean, as I said, it's pretty comprehensive. I think the main point from health care is that we've got to reduce our costs. In another 5 years, we'll be up to $1 billion in health care costs, and that's massive. We all know that the island's health care cost is probably, next to the United States, the most expensive in the world. The two factors that we believe that are affecting the health care is overutilization and, of course, pricing fees. And so we've got to look at that. And we believe that if we had a system that allowed us to gather together a database of information that takes a look at the two factors I just named as to why our costs are so high, we can then start thinking about how we can fix that.
The OBA chief said it's time to implement an education authority, similar to the Bermuda Tourism Authority.
I think the other thing that stands out is education. We believe that the politics now needs to be removed from the education system. We've seen how Bermuda Tourism Authority has aided in increased numbers. We just saw some new numbers come out where we are now, once again, our tourism industry is thriving. This is a direct result of the BTA. We believe that an education authority would have the same results. Let's remove the politics from the education system and let's get our young people educated, getting the certificates and diplomas that allow them to compete on the world stage. We talked about bankruptcy laws and updating our legislation. I'm watching especially black-owned businesses and individuals who have gone out, been entrepreneurs, and because of the economy, they've seen everything stripped from them. We need to have bankruptcy laws that allows for entrepreneurs to go out there and to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. But if in the end something goes wrong, like a recession or the likes, there must be a recourse that does not take away their homes, that doesn't take away, it's not the end of the world for them. And I'm keenly concerned about that as I listen now, more and more people going into bankruptcy without being able to, with having to lose what they've worked so hard for, and that's their homes and livelihood.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Mike. Meantime, reforms to the island's tax system could yield an extra $150 million to government coffers. That estimate is contained in a completed review by the Tax Commission submitted to Parliament today. The junior finance minister, Wayne Ferbert, tabled the report in the House of Assembly.
The purpose of the commission was to conduct a review of Bermuda's system of taxation and revenue collection and make recommendations on tax reform to Parliament. More specifically, the Tax Reform Commission was given the following mandate by the Minister of Finance: examine Bermuda's tax system and determine any measures that may be taken to best enable a system of taxation and revenue collection that is equitable, effective, efficient, competitive, and transparent. Increase public sector revenue yield from 17% of GDP to a minimum of 20% to 22% of GDP, and prepare and submit a report and recommendations in accordance with Section 7 of the Tax Reform Act. A 7-member team was assembled in order for the Commission to be able to carry out its duties. As a result, the Commission determined that if the proposed tax policy recommendations are implemented, an additional yield of approximately $147 million could be generated over the next 2 to 3 years, period, increasing government's revenue to approximately $1.26 billion.
In other news, unionized members of staff from One Communications stayed off the job today as negotiations reportedly got underway. Michael Jones, a former manager at the company, was let go yesterday and staged industrial action in protest of the alleged behavior of certain managers.
The company is sticking to its right to support the manager that the dispute all began from, and they did meet with government and the union together today. And based on the last conversation, just around 5 p.m. today, the company, the members did take a vote, and they will still be in the sit-out as of Monday, pending more talks with government and the company. So as of Monday, the employees will still be out.
What were some of the demands?
They wanted him removed from his post and not allowed to come back into the building where the unionized workers would be reporting to. The company was unwilling to comply to that, and so, pending the other information that I can't really report on, that was one of the decisions that the members were going to be firm on. They didn't want to have to deal with him. They didn't want him to deal with any day-to-day. And because the company has stood firm, pending, one of the issues is that the CEO is asking for proof of some of the allegations. He's not taking the word of everyone that has conveyed their concerns and the things that they have been forced to do. He wants written proof. And so I believe that is in the process of being gathered. Again, Monday, there will be some interesting conversation, but as it stands, the employees will not be reporting to work on Monday morning.
And the union this evening confirmed that the staff members will meet again on Monday morning. We reached out to One Communications by email and phone today, but did not receive a response by news time. We'll have more for you after this short break, including your weekend weather updates. Stay with us.
Shopping online? The cheapest and easiest way to bring your packages to Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
I've been a U.S. Express customer for a long, long time, and I stay a customer because it's fast, easy, and convenient.
You get the automatic call when your package is here, and just the pickup is easy. The street's not too crazy there, but you can just swing by, boom, down the steps, get your package, and off you go.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
You can count on us.
They'll Chief, Gallo, or McIntosh apples, 2-pound bag, just $3.99. Fresh Purdue chicken drumsticks, $1.99 per pound. Kraft mayonnaise, 30-ounce jar, special price, $5.59. Carnation evaporated milk, 410-gram tin, only $1.59. Sargento sliced cheeses, 6.7, 8-ounce packages, hot price, $3.99. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Welcome back. A criminal defense barrister has reportedly been charged in connection with domestic violence. The Royal Gazette reporting that 38-year-old Kamal Worrell pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of unlawful assault 2 days ago in Warwick Parish. He was granted bail by the senior magistrate in the amount of $2,000 and ordered not to contact the victim. The matter was adjourned to December the 3rd. In other news, the next series of road sobriety checkpoints will take place from Thursday, November 22nd to Sunday, November 25th in 5 parishes. The 5 parishes are Hamilton Parish, Devonshire, Pembroke, Paget, and Southampton. The Minister of National Security, Wayne Keynes, in a ministerial statement, said close to 50 people have been arrested after failing sobriety tests.
Since starting the roadside sobriety checkpoints in the middle of September, there have been just 11 roadside sobriety checkpoints in Bermuda. They have been centered in the central parishes. We've seen 49 people arrested for driving whilst impaired, and they are either pled guilty or going through the court process, which a few of them have pled not guilty. We see a number of police officers. It takes about 8 to 14 officers to actually conduct a roadside sobriety checkpoint. I think the interesting statistics from January 1st, 2018 to where we are today, there have been 243 arrests. The same time last year, there were 144 arrests. So we see a number of arrests. The number of arrests for driving whilst impaired have increased based on the roadside sobriety checkpoint. The object of the aim is not to arrest people, it's actually to change behavior. We see a number of people saying that they're now looking to get a ride home. They're now looking to carpool and go out, and so we see a change in behavior. We see 77% of the people arrested are men, and so we see the demographic of men, that there's a similar bracket of men that are dying based on road traffic fatalities. And so we have a lot and very far to go to letting people see that there is a connection with a high rate of driving at a high rate of speed, or riding at a high rate of speed, and driving with excess alcohol in your blood. And the message is simple: if you're going to go out and drink, to find a designated driver or to indeed find a ride home.
In other news, much needed work on the Kings Wharf and Dockyard will begin on Saturday. The Public Works Minister, David Birch, told parliamentarians today the aim was to have the work completed before the resumption of the cruise ship season in April.
So demolition of the terminal will begin tomorrow. And what I didn't want is for people to say, yeah, they're doing work and nobody knows what it is. And so it was important that the statement be made today that we are starting the work tomorrow, but we didn't start the work on this project today. We started it, I guess, the beginning of the year almost. So in fact, late last year, we started this project and looking at how we could accommodate this whole plan within the limited time frame in which we have. We inherited a 77-page report on Kings Wharf dated 2014 that indicated that there was significant work that needed to be done on Kings Wharf, and we realized that 4 years later we can't extend it any further, and so we've got to move. So we've done a number of things. We had to this year put down some support for the actual walkway on Kings Wharf, and so we contracted precast concrete slabs, and we went out to the private sector by tender to do that. But we did that with the view in mind that we would long term, that's what we would replace it with. And so we were also testing the market and see who could actually deliver the quality type product that we would want. And so we found a supplier in New Jersey, and so we've had the benefit of utilizing their product this whole season, and so they actually came in as the lowest bidder, and so they were selected to provide the slabs for the actual complete refurbishment of the pier. And so in phases we've done this. Then we had to look at how we get it to Bermuda.
A survey at Kings Wharf found that 80% of the rebars were coming apart, concrete was cracking, and layers were separating, among other problems. Turning to weather news, wet and windy conditions tonight into tomorrow. As you can see from our tower cam, well, we couldn't even see the sunset. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for more details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
We're glad that you're joining us here on ZBM tonight. We have a high-impact weather forecast, and this one's brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group. It's going to be a sloppy night out there. Some street flooding is possible, if not likely, as some heavy rain is moving on in from the west. Pockets of heavy rain. We could easily see about 1.5 inches out of this. The sun is setting on the visible satellite across the western hemisphere right now, slowly from east to west, and you can see as the lights go out, we could still see those thick clouds rolling in from the west. And here is the satellite estimated rainfall, indicating quite a bit of rain moving in from west to east, and it's with us for sure tonight. 75 degrees. We have humidity around 90%. Winds are active from the south at 15 to 20 knots. Water temp is unchanged at 75 degrees. On the inside, we have 2 to 3 foot waves. On the south side of the island, some wave heights are up to around 10 feet. So there is a laundry list of weather alerts to tell you about. 2 small craft warnings, 1 through tonight, another one late Saturday night through Sunday afternoon. And the Bermuda Weather Service has issued a thunderstorm advisory through tonight. There is some lightning out there with this band of rain. So a small craft warning, the first one through tonight. We do have low tide coming up as the tide goes out this evening. It's 9:37 tonight. A high tide 3:35 in the morning. And then after sunrise, we have a low tide at 10:06 Saturday. And conditions will be improving. At least when it comes to the rainfall, pulling away by 3:54 on Saturday when we turn drier and the tide comes up. So heavy rain and some thunderstorms out there. Look out for flooding on streets and poor drainage areas. Sometimes 1.5 inches is enough to cause trouble in Hamilton and beyond. And tonight into tomorrow, the rain will continue. So tomorrow, heavy rain and thunderstorm, especially in the first half of the day. Poor drainage areas will continue to be susceptible to some flooding. It'll be cooler as well with highs only around 73 degrees. Futurecast shows that we're getting into business here with widespread rain. The stripe of rain is right over us. That's the front as well. You can see the conflicting wind directions, and eventually the front pushes through. We get that cooler flow from the north, and that will dry us out slowly. Saturday, 11 p.m. There's still rain nearby, although there should be less of it around. Most of it will be to the southeast. Into the Caribbean we go. Pretty nice setup in Barbados. That's the place to be, at least with this particular weather setup. Scattered showers and storms into Jamaica. Trinidad and Tobago, scattered showers and thunderstorms, 88 degrees. No tropical threats, though, and that's some good news. Into eastern North America, we had one of the 5 biggest snowfalls in November in New York City history. Yesterday, and we're still downright chilly, colder than average across most of the east. A lot of spots that don't typically see snow until December saw some snow even in Washington, D.C., for example, on our Thursday. Atlanta's cool and bright. Miami looks okay. London's running cool and quiet. And our local forecast is anything but quiet tonight. Showers, thunderstorms, localized flooding possible tonight into early Saturday. Sunday, still some leftover spotty showers or sprinkles. Monday and Tuesday look nicer, and then we get wet again with scattered showers returning on Wednesday. So be safe out there and take it easy on the roads. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's with BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always been seen to be with Bermuda Fine Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition because back then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. I'm quite happy with it.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there's no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 30th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace, helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any Marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores, and purchase extra tins of non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donation into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Share the Christmas spirit.
Real Sports Talk Bermuda, hosted by Earl Baisden, will present a live 1-hour special in-depth analysis on the island's culture in sport. What must be done for improvements, attitudes in sports, success with our former athletes representing the country internationally, and sports administration. Guests include former athletes, influential persons within the sporting community, and the athletes of today. Join us for this special 2-part series beginning Tuesday, November 27th at 8 p.m. on ZFB TV7, and again Tuesday, December 4th on ZFB TV7 at 8 p.m. That's Real Sports Talk Bermuda, hosted by Earl Baisden, which is brought to you by the Department of Youth Sports and Recreation.
The government today tabled an amendment to the Tourism Investment Act that would provide tax relief for all vacation rental properties. Tourism and Transport Minister Zane De Silva told the House of Assembly the relief is designed for those homeowners with Airbnb-style properties for rent. Here's what the minister told Mike Sharp outside of the chamber.
That what we will be looking at in the next few months is looking at giving concessions to those folks that have homes and are looking at renting them to our tourists. Because as you know, many of our tourists nowadays are looking at other options. They're looking at Airbnbs, they're looking at guest accommodations in countries that they wish to visit, hotels, motels, all those types of things. So what we're looking at doing, and we'll be having many meetings, Mike. We won't just come up to the House, lay down a bill and say, look, we're going to change the law. This is a process that will involve many of the stakeholders in the country.
Mm-hmm. What are you concerned most about this bill?
Well, what we want to do, Mike, is we want to give opportunities. We talked about a fair Bermuda for all. We've talked about that constantly for the last year and a half. And what we want to be able to do is give those folks that want to venture into this business, we want to give them some opportunities, some concessions, similar to that of which we're given to the hotels.
Mr. De Silva also defending the government's legislative amendment that, if passed, would give him the power to give directions to the board of directors of the Tourism Authority.
When the Bermuda Tourism Authority was formed, it was formed under the OBA, under Sean Crockle. And the folks, the people that he appointed were his people that he felt comfortable with, people he trusted, people he could rely on. Even though we have a chairman that was appointed by, I believe, Minister Jamal Simmons, former Minister of Tourism Jamal Simmons, and a few other members. What we want to be able to do is we want to make sure that we have people at the table that we trust, we rely on, and we can call on at any moment in time.
Stay with us. More news after this brief intermission.
You can count on us.
Snow White cauliflower, only $3.99 each. Fresh assorted pork chops at $3.49 per pound. Freshly baked apple or pumpkin pies, hot price, $6.99 each. Scott Comfort Plus bath tissue, 4 rolls, only $3.49. Save $1 on Vieira's Portuguese rolls, hot price, $4.79. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
We are the voices.
You are with the captain.
It's Mr. Midday.
12 new major news.
The big station.
The morning show.
Your #1 song.
The Faces.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight.
This is exactly what you're talking about.
What an upset it was.
The Storytellers.
They are actually using the pepper spray.
Police are aware of this theory.
The water is 3,500 meters deep.
The tax climbs up to 12.5%.
The window on our community.
We bring you the best in U.S. television entertainment
and the greatest sporting events in the world.
A brilliant performance from Duffy.
We are the island's only Bermudian-owned broadcaster of both television and radio.
With the only TV channels that are available over the air in beautiful high definition, completely free.
We are always expanding.
We are always innovating.
And most important, we're always your station.
This is Bermuda Broadcasting.
The Bermuda Anti-Doping Authority's financial statements are perfect, says the Minister of Sport, Levita Fogo. In a ministerial statement, Minister Fogo said Bermuda can move forward in hosting major competitions and athletes being drug tested.
As you know, the World Anti-Doping Association has strict requisites out there internationally to ensure that when our people compete, they do so without any influence from any sort of substance whatsoever. And it keeps the world of sports clean and operating purely just for the competitive nature.
Now, you had a sort of a report from my old colleague, Debbie Jones-Hunter.
Yes. What I can say about the Bermuda Anti-Doping Association is that they have been doing extremely well in terms of ensuring that our athletes do get tested, they are tested randomly, and ensuring that should they have to compete overseas, they are meeting the requisite criteria in order to do so. And in fact, I can say with audits that have been done in that arena that there were certain correctives that were told to be made, and they have done so and did so at a percentage of 100. And so we recently congratulated that particular group for a job well done. That we are ensuring that here in Bermuda that we comply 100% and that we are using the most up-to-date best practices when it comes to ensuring that athletes are being tested.
Well, we're fresh off another successful rugby event, the World Rugby Classic. The game, once dominated by expats, has truly become a local sport. In tonight's Bright Idea segment, Tony Waterman tackles another rugby tournament that's not just attracting hundreds to the island, but sending a few abroad in the form of scholarships.
If you believe the stories, rugby was born out of a fine disregard for the rules of football. A young William Webb Ellis, a pupil at rugby school in England, took the ball in his arms and ran. That was 1823. Nearly 200 years later, and rugby is part of Bermuda's sporting culture and provides a revenue stream for the tourism industry.
The rugby community was originally very much an expatriate community. That's going back, 15, 20 years. But the biggest transition has been over the past 10 years, where more and more Bermudians are now involved in the teams.
Tom Healy is a veteran scrum half for the senior national sevens team. He says at a recent tournament, Bermudians outnumbered expats 4-1. But the team faces a challenge when it comes to recruitment, funding.
We recognized pretty early that these younger cohort were being left out of the team as there was just no funding for them.
Because they couldn't pay their own way.
And rugby is very much self-funded.
How much money are we talking about to go away for a rugby tournament?
All in, it's knocking on the door of $1,000 per tournament, which is just completely outside the range of some guys who are just not working yet, especially the younger school-going kids.
So the game was brought to them. The Ariel Ree Bermuda International Sevens Tournament kicked off in 2016, attracting the very best in boys' high school and college men and women's rugby. Kutztown University, Dartmouth, and Notre Dame are just some of the attendees.
Naturally, Bermuda is very expensive, so the sponsorship goes in to subsidizing travel, transportation. And like I said, when a school is indifferent in financial terms, whether to go to the southern US or to come to Bermuda, then it's an easy win.
Between players, coaches, and spectators, the tournament drew some 400 people last year. Among them, collegiate coaches looking to beef up their teams in the coming years.
Our latest successes with Alex Doyling, who's been selected by Kutztown University. So he's on a rugby scholarship there directly from the tournament and the opportunity he had last March.
But last year's tournament also brought tragedy. The death of 19-year-old Mark Dombrowski, a freshman at St. Joseph's University who accidentally fell into a dry moat.
Are you guys going to do something this year in remembrance of him?
Yes, we are going to do something. What that is, we haven't settled on yet. Mark's spirit will live on through the tournament for however long we can keep this going, and it'll always be a part of the story.
A story that started nearly 2 centuries ago when a young man decided to break the rules and wound up creating a whole new game. And for Bermuda, a whole new group of visitors to the island.
Thanks, Tony. In other news, 5 out of 10 chefs at the Marcus restaurant at Hamilton Princess have been hired by talented Canadian chef Denai. 36-year-old Denai, who's been here for 20 months, recently visited the Bermuda College in search of more talent. He says there's a shortage of chefs in the world, and he's seeking to hire a few more youngsters.
I did a lot of Asian fusion the last couple of years. I did more mid-tier. But, I mean, it's a lot of fun, right? And that's where the world is going right now. There's a lot of There's not a lot of fine dining in the world anymore. People want to eat good food. They know what good food is too. So it's not like you have to sit down for like 5 or 6 hours and eat a meal and then be caught in 5 or 6 hours. You can eat, have fun, listen to good music, eat some good food, have some good cocktails.
What was your experience like with the youngsters and Bermuda College? I mean, I don't think Bermuda's that big, so it's a small pool to choose from, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small pool, but I think because it's a small pool at the college that you can focus on the students more. Talent they have there is very, very good. What I went down there for, though, was to teach them a little bit more about how it works in a restaurant setting. It's very, very different from actual textbooks and like learning and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, they're great. There's a lot of good talent down there, and I'll definitely hire them.
I still remember that vegan burger deny. It was awesome. That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night.
That's the beautiful rhythm that we've seen from Duffy all season.